Welcome to the Automotive Diagnostic Podcast. We're going to explore ways to sharpen our diagnostic skills, find learning resources, and hear from experts in the automotive field. Hello and welcome, automotive friends. This is the Automotive Diagnostic Podcast. My name is Sean Tipping. I will be your host today. Today on the show, I actually have two guests joining me. Both been on the podcast before. So if you've been listening for a while, you should be familiar with Brandon Dills with Jarhead Diagnostics and Cody Gaddie with Cody's Auto Diagnostics. He's got a YouTube channel. They're joining me on the show today to talk about something that they've got going on for the month of October. It's going to be donating to breast cancer awareness charities. So all the details about this are going to be within the podcast, but just keep in mind I'm also going to put all the links in the show notes if you'd like to get involved. So you'll listen to the show, you'll figure out all the details here, but check the show notes if you need any links to go to the website and get in on this. But it's going to a really good cause, and it's going to run through the month of October, again, like I mentioned. I really enjoyed talking to both these guys. We talked about what they had going on with their fundraiser, but also just kind of BSing and talking about all things automotive. So let's get into the interview here. What's going on, my friends?
Oh, living the American dream.
Oh, yeah.
Glad to have both of you on here today. Thanks for hopping on the show at short notice.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, definitely. How is life for both of you guys? What have you been up to?
I'll let you go first, Cody.
Oh, I was just going to say I was going to let you go first. No, life is good, man. Just still. Last time we talked, we were still dealing with the corona, so not much has really changed on.
Right.
That. But yeah, it's life's going pretty good. Just staying busy and just making it through. So doing the best we can, and yeah, I mean that's about it right now. So
I watched that video, that scan tool you had for the off-road vehicle. That thing was pretty cool.
I got to play around with this some more. I figured out it's kind of clunky as far as the recording. Normally the recording is right there, smack dab, on the tool. But I guess you have to go through the customer information in order to save the test drive.
Okay.
The file. So it works different than what we typically know for like Autel or Snap-on or even Launch for that matter. But it's pretty sweet. I mean, for being like those off-road sports, I wasn't expecting to see that many data points for sure. So
yeah, I mean I don't work on any of that stuff, but I didn't even think that they had scan tools. But of course, yeah. I mean if it's fuel injection, it has to. So
I thought they were code readers, honestly. Like I had, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Or flash codes or something.
Yeah, I mean, like whenever I had my Harley, that's pretty much all I had was just a code reader.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, all that stuff is it's getting to be a lot like cars. I mean, do they have like emission standards on stuff like that too, I suppose?
See, that I don't know. I know if I registered it in Phoenix, I would have to go. There was some kind of emissions testing. I don't know what that involves though.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure when it comes to that. No, that's my first off-road toy. So I'm kind of I'm learning that end of it too.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a new ball game.
Awesome. Well, and hey, Brandon, you got all kinds of stuff going on. I see on your Facebook page you're out doing the mobile thing all the time, and tons of stuff going on with your business.
Oh yeah, it's nonstop. I mean, it's to the point now where this past Monday I actually hired my first employee. So
oh, nice.
Kind of helps spread load of work because I mean, from the last time that we talked, I was still in a shop working plus doing all the tools and everything, and then I ripped the Band-Aid off probably about beginning of May, and went full-time mobile and doing the tools and living life. So
That's great. Yeah, what a scary thing trying to hire somebody. I've thought about it because I really ramped up my mobile stuff this summer, and I was thinking, I was like, well, how am I going to do it? Teaching and trying to do mobile at the same time. And I was maybe I could hire somebody, but I don't know. I got just scared thinking about all the all the things that go wrong or how to handle all that stuff. But you must have figured it out.
well, that's where I'm at right now. It's like the first probably month or two, he's going to kind of be glued to my hip as far as just learning everything about how I'm doing it all. And then at the first of the year, we're going to kind of try and let him grow his wings to do a little bit more on his own. So that way it frees up my time to be able to do more with the business as well. So
Yeah, it's when you figure out like what you can do with your time, what's the value of 2 hours worth of your time, then I think that's when you can actually like figure out, okay, it would make sense to pay somebody because I could be making the business money or developing things. I mean, you got all kinds of stuff going on. So
yeah.
you're building like a whole addition to your house, or is that what you're making? Office or garage or what?
Well, it got, I mean, Jar had literally started at my kitchen table, and then it's kind of just spiraled out of control from there. But now I added a 14 by 20 building at the house, and I'm finishing that out to be our kind of like headquarters, I guess you could say.
Nice. Just gonna have 3D printers all over the place, or what?
Yeah, I was joking around my wife and the employee. As soon as you walk in, you're gonna have to walk around printers. So.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. So,
No.
John, you were saying how your business or your flashing and everything, your mobile business or whatever is taking off this summer. What are you doing more things or?
It just word of mouth spread around. The last summer, that would have been 2019, I did a bunch of marketing. I went to shops with flyers and stuff like that, just so I could, because I wanted to grow it. And then this summer, I didn't do anything. I did not go to a single shop or anything. And it just was, hey, I talked to this guy, or hey, this guy gave me your card, and it just kind of blew up. I don't know if it's the same for you two, but man, the shops have been busy just in general in the last 6 months or so, and yeah, I'm seeing the effects of that as well. And yeah, it was just kind of a crazy summer. It just nonstop running around trying to do stuff, and then yeah, I tried to let everybody know, my big shops, like, hey, I'm gonna start teaching at the end of August here, so I'm not available between these hours. And honestly, they've all been pretty cool about it. So
Nice.
I'll do a couple in the afternoon and some on Saturday, and I'm making it work somehow. But yeah, I think
awesome.
Eventually I'm gonna have to get somebody else in the mix if I want to keep ramping it up.
How many cars are you averaging a day? Like whenever you're doing it full time?
It definitely depends on the day. Obviously, some are slower than others, but 5 or 6 is probably a good day for me. Honestly, I'm not blasting through them at Keith DeFazio speed by any means, but that's a pretty good day for me.
He's just got the golden hands. Like,
yeah.
Man, the guy that's in Charlotte, he's right below me in his area. He's been doing it for a while. I was asking him, I was like, what do you average a day? He's like, about 8 cars a day. It's like, good Lord, I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, that's tough. And I mean, you guys know one car can throw that completely off.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you get a communication issue that's intermittent or whatever, and there's a day right there,
Yep.
So yeah, I get it, man. And, and the reason I'm asking, because I've talked with Brandon a little bit, and this isn't anything I've really got put out there that much, but I envy you guys going mobile and everything, and that's something that kind of what I'm picturing for my bigger picture of what I'd like to do, and kind of get away from the nuts and bolts end of it, and just solely focus on what I truly love doing. So that's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are making it work and succeeding too. So
yeah, it's it's tough, it's challenging, but I think it's just equally as rewarding, if not more so, once you know, have some success. Once
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
when the days you're not getting your ass kicked, it's rewarding, but yeah, you take the other side of that too.
Because you got to remember, you're the one that the shops call them whenever they've already exhausted all of their resources. So it's never an easy one.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, I like that sometimes there's 3 different parts already tried, then I don't have to be the guy to say, well, let's at least try this. It's already been tried. But yeah, you're getting called into some weird stuff too. Just very strange scenarios that you wouldn't see day to day in a shop, or you see them at a shop, but every like 6 months or a year.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, I was watching Facebook last night, and you guys hopped on, and we're gonna do a live thing, but had some technical difficulties.
No, we were planning. That's what we were planning to do. It was a whole comedian act and everything else. So that was planned out.
Well,
it didn't look like it, but it was.
that's how you get attention, everybody's attention, right? This isn't just a normal live stream.
But then we realized, in hindsight's 2020, we had like 17 viewers in one video, 47 in another, and like 30 in another, and not all together. So
Well,
I'm bouncing around. Okay, there's Cody's, there's Brandon's. Oh, Cody's is frozen, and somebody's swearing.
I'm walking through the house. I'm yelling at Sabrina. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
And everybody's like, Brandon, hit the green button. I'm like, I don't know.
I didn't even see any of the comments until I went back afterwards or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, man, there was like 100 people saying hit the green button. I'm like, where's the green button?
Take the blue pill. Take the blue pill.
Yeah, that stuff happens, and I really felt your pain as you were going through that. I've been in class before, and especially when I was first started teaching, I'm super nervous already, and then my technology or whatever I had planned just goes terribly, and I'm standing up there trying to like think on my feet, but I'm also so anxious because I know a bunch of people are watching me. It's one thing to be by yourself, but you don't know how many people are in that live thing. You're just like, what do I do?
I know, man. And like you're saying, as far as teaching, and then I see the guys, like Chad Austin going live on his videos on YouTube and stuff. And man, he just makes everybody look like, garbage because his live streams are just incredible. I mean, multiple camera views and everything, and it's like, man, I can't even do a Facebook Live without it being all messed up. So,
well, hey, don't feel too bad, because I was watching John Thornton's fuel injection seminar last week, and even he was having technical difficulties. So if John Thornton has problems with it, I don't think any of us should feel bad.
No, that makes me feel 100 times better. So.
But you found a way, and I mean, I feel like it was just the most auto technician way to just make something work. Like these cars don't cooperate with us. We figured it out some way, and you guys did the same thing. So
we problem solved, and then thanks to Brandon, he's just like, turn around. I'm like, all right, we'll just hold the phone and videotape Brandon, and then but hey, we got the message out. So, it was a fun time doing it, I guess. I mean, it was nerve-wracking, but yeah.
Yeah, it makes it memorable. But that's actually why I wanted to have you on the podcast today, is you guys have something going on here for the month of October, and I want you to share everything about it and hopefully get it out to some more people, spread the word, and just to grow this thing as much as possible. So I'm going to let you two take it away and give us the rundown on what you've got going on.
Go for it, Brandon.
Well, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, Cody reached out to me. He was like, hey, I've got a customer that kind of reached out to me asking if we were going to be doing something for the month of October. And so he reached out to me, and him and I kind of discussed some different things. And so what we got going on is any pink pulse sensor that's sold is going to go kind of into a drawing for some different tooling. which I'll let him explain that, because after our live ordeal, the tooling kind of got blown out of proportion even more than what we were anticipating. But then, like on my end for the website, anything pink that you buy, 10% of proceeds are going to breast cancer. And then for Cody, on any of his sensors that he sells, 10% of the proceeds is going to breast cancer as well. So we kind of wanted to give back to the community, but then also give back to the industry all in one. So give them back to them both at once.
Exactly. And so like Brandon was saying, I mean, that's my buddy Ace, his family has been affected by cancer and everything. And I posted a picture of one of my pink pulse sensors a couple weeks ago, and he reached out to me and you know, just saying how his family's been affected, and he thinks it would be pretty cool if we could put something together, or if I could put something together. And you know, the more I thought about it, it was there's only so much I can do as just a single individual, and I want this to be, you know, I want this to be bigger than just myself. You know, I want it to be, I want to collect as much money as possible for this charity and stuff. And, you know, I just felt like I possibly needed some help and everything. And, you know, so I called up Brandon and we kind of discussed it and stuff. And like I said the other night, like Brandon was 100% on board. He was like, let's do it. And, you know, he comes up with the ideas as far as, you know, let's not just, you know, doing the charity as far as collecting the money and stuff for it and giving them a discount or the money going towards the charity, but let's give them something too. And so he came up with like a tier program that, you know, if we sell X number of sensors, like, you know, it starts out with, and this is how it started, was with the eScan. And then from there, if we sell, you know, even more, and we were even thinking about, then, you know, it can possibly go to like an eScope, which those two tools alone, like I mean, they're priceless, honestly. I mean, it's great equipment. And, you know, so Brandon also mentioned as far as yesterday, as far as the Snap-on pass-through 3, to throw that in as far as, so we have a first tier, second tier, and a third tier. Well, since our live event or whatever last night, we've had a couple companies reach out to us, and Curian has reached out to us. They have a wireless DVOM that's going to be getting sent to us, and actually a couple. Joseph's sending us a couple tools, isn't he, Brandon? 3 tools.
Yeah, he's sending out the very basic Power Probe kit, like the very, very basic one, and then he's also sending out one of their nicer breakout boxes as well. So
yeah, awesome. And then we had Ryan Cooley reach out, and he's sending us some tools and stuff too. And you know, Brandon and I haven't even discussed these new tools, but kind of what I'm thinking, and Brandon, you can tell me if I'm wrong or whatever, but instead of having just, you know, a single winner, like there's multiple chances of winning something now is kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, 100% I agree with that. I mean, we could even just take it to as far as like on my end, if anything of like as far as any pink items sold, that could be entered into some of those other stuff that was donated, because the tooling, the ATS stuff, that wasn't like ATS wasn't reaching out to us to do it. That was him and I, we were going to pay for the tool ourselves out of our own pocket to give out. So these other tools that were donated to us, I mean, more the merrier now. So let's try and get as much as we can going on it.
Yeah, and that just sweetens the pot. And like Brandon said, you know, the initial part of this wasn't, you know, it's Brandon and I invested in our own money, but, you know, to give back to the technicians, but then to give back for the cancer awareness and just to, you know, just to give back. I mean, it feels good. You know, I enjoy doing that, and there's so many families affected by the cancer and stuff. And I don't know how much of an impact that we can do, but man, I'm curious to see what's going to happen this month and what the outcome is going to be. And the fact that more companies have jumped on board and sending us stuff just makes us feel like, you know, we're doing something right, you know, and people are supportive of that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And of course, everybody knows at the moment, and I'm sure for the next month, there's a lot of negative things to focus on in the world. So it's just very
Man.
refreshing to see something positive like this. I felt, just really good just watching you guys, lay this out there last night. It's just cool to have something else positive to focus on. That's it.
Well, as long as you laughed, that's all that matters, man.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Well, that is so cool. So it's going to run until the end of October, and then you'll do the drawing after that point.
Yep, and I guess we're just kind of playing it by ear as far as the tools that we get from these other companies and we'll probably make a post on Facebook or whatever as far as the new tools added that are also going to be chances to win. So it's not like there's one tool up for grabs, which is that's pretty cool. And then on top of that, there's the people buying the sensors, but then there's guys like Rob Self that his family is being affected by cancer and everything, and so he paid for 2 sensors, but then he also paid for a donation on top of the 2 sensors. So, and that donation 100% is going straight to at the end of the month and everything. So the guys are really and that's happened a couple times and everything. So I'm just curious to see what happens at the end of the month, and guys are just donating like crazy and buying sensors, and it's been nice. So it's the beginning. Like I said, we'll see what happens at the end of the month, but I'm curious to hopefully it'll be a good impact.
Yeah, that's all I'm shooting for as well, is just trying to get the light out on it. I mean, like what you were saying, Sean, just everything bad in the world, why not focus on something good? So it's a feel good moment, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no kidding. So if somebody wants to purchase a sensor, make a donation, give you some more tools to give away, how do they contact you, reach out to you? Where do they go? And whatever links or whatever you have, I'll also include them in the show notes, but let us know for anybody listening right now.
Yeah, so there's actually a couple ways. Brandon obviously has his company, and then mine's not really a company. I just kind of do it on the side and stuff. But this is us teaming up as pretty much one company. So Brandon's selling his sensors, and it's Jarhead. Jarhead.com.
www.jarheaddiag.com or jarheaddiagnostics.com. Either domain works. Or you can go to my Facebook page, Jarhead Diagnostics, or Instagram, and any of them really. It's all the same username for them. So you can either contact me directly or buy it at the website.
And Brandon, you have you have the sensors, and then is it the WPS cases?
Sensors, the WPS cases. I think I've already got the 5-volt boxes uploaded for pink. Pretty much any of my stuff that I 3D print, I'll be offering in pink, and then also my BNC leads, I'll be offering those in pink as well. So
that's cool.
Yeah, and almost anything that I make, I'm going to try and offer in pink. I'm still in the process of uploading all that to the website. I got backlogged, but hopefully within the next day or two, I'll have everything updated on the website for pink on everything.
Yeah, so that's how you can get a hold of Brandon. And as far as for myself, you can find me at on Facebook at Cody's Auto Diagnostics, or you can send me an email at codysautodiagnostics@gmail.com. And like I said, whoever you choose to go through, it's all for the greater good, and that it's all going to the same place.
That's awesome. I love it. That's great. Need to see more of this for sure.
Yeah, that's actually Cody and I had already had that discussion. Just depending on how this goes. I mean, there's probably going to be more to come in the future, but this is going to be our trial run to see before we continue on with it.
and like Brandon said, and it's nice to see when you multiple companies, especially companies that are kind of I'm definitely not on the same level as Brandon and stuff, but like similar products or whatever, but it's for the greater, we're all in this together. Brandon started his company for the same reasons I started mine, and that was to give, technicians quality tools at a cheaper rate than the tool trucks. And it's everything's just so damn expensive anymore, that it's nice when you can get, a tool that can do the same kind of function that a $400 tool can, for a fraction of the cost and stuff. So, we have the same business model, and that's where that's where it just makes sense to, kind of team up and go from there and see what we can do. And you know what, I just think it's good for others to see that and stuff though too, and hopefully other people and everything else can kind of follow suit or whatever may be. So
yeah, we're the entire auto industry is more successful when we can work together instead of cutting each other down.
That's absolutely it.
Yeah, what is it? Steve Scott's his slogan, "Stronger Together." So.
Yep. See, and that's absolutely it. And where the automotive industry was when I got into the industry, man, it was you had to fight to. Nobody was willing to share their knowledge, really, and if you did, or like if you did get a mentor or whatever, you held on to it. But you're a new guy in a shop or whatever, you don't have guys telling you like, hey, you can do this job and here's a trick to make this job a little bit easier or whatever. They're over there like, watch this guy. He's doing it the hard way. We're not going to show him. You know what I mean? And it's just like, because they think that other technicians are taking money out of your mouth. And the truth is there's enough cars for all of us out there. And there's enough business and everything else for all of us to succeed. And the networking is just, I go on these groups and there's not a single day I don't go onto the groups and I read these posts from other guys and stuff that I don't learn something. So it's incredible.
Yeah. And I know, Sean, I know at least in my area, you might do it with yours. I try and explain that to all the local shops too. You see cars driving by, that shop cannot service every single car that drives by their door. There's no way they ever could. So it's just kind of trying to get everybody together. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully we get the dealerships on board with that idea, or the manufacturers, maybe I should say, not necessarily dealerships, but the manufacturers on board. So we're not fighting with them, because it's the same thing for them. They can't fix every car out there on the road.
I know.
But it seems like there's been some paywalls put up recently to keep us from doing our part of the repairs. But
thanks, FCA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh.
I just, man, I'm fine with the token thing if you want to do it by VIN, but I mean, take that tech authority thing down so it's reasonable.
Yeah.
90% of the manufacturers are less than FCA. It's what?
Yeah.
That doesn't. Well, that's like Keith Perkins. His video the other day is why you don't need to buy Chrysler.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of his rants. It's like it's so expensive just to do anything. So.
Yeah.
Hey, and I love flashing Chryslers. Obviously, I mean, because there's always updates for just about anything on a Chrysler. There's always something that fixes something, and but it comes at a price, and it's just there's so many hoops and stuff that we have to jump through now that customers don't understand, and being at a dealership level, it's they don't even understand. So yeah, it's a different world in the independents, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's always tough when you see that happening with a manufacturer, because then you feel like, or at least I feel like, the other ones are going to follow suit at some point or another, and I just want to hold on to my reasonably priced Ford and GM setups for what I do. I feel like those are very reasonable for what we're doing, for what I can go out and charge. At least I'm in a very rural area, and when I tell somebody that it's this much for a Chrysler, it's like double what the rest of them are, they're just like, huh? Hold on a second. It's not that nice of a car.
Yeah. No,
exactly.
Go ahead, Brandon. Yeah, sorry, man.
No, I was just saying it's exactly. And And that's every time I walk into a shop, they're like, okay, well, what do you charge for this, this, and this? And I was like, well, for the most part, almost all of them are this price. And unless you have a Chrysler, then it's this price. And usually whenever I say that, their eyes get really big. Like, seriously? I was like, look, over half of that is just in software. It's not like I can just discount it down to nothing. So,
and so like even AutoLogic though, they have their base price for the wrap program of the 125. Well, that has now changed. It's 125 for every manufacturer, but Chrysler. So
yeah,
that tells you something. So it's not just hitting us as far as like the independents and stuff. I mean, obviously AutoLogic is their own company and everything, but it's affecting everybody, so they've had to adjust their prices too, so they can at least, make a profit off of it and stuff too. I wish more companies, I have the Ford IDS. I wish more companies were like that, the Ford IDS 1-year subscription, man, it includes the programming. I mean, that's
and diagnostic. I mean, you get all of it. So maybe we shouldn't even like talk about this out loud. How good of a Ford it's such a deal,
Sean, delete this podcast. Okay. I was just kidding.
Well, no, I mean they all are. I mean Toyota's, especially compared to Chrysler, Toyota and Lexus is way cheaper. It's in the Ford price range. I mean, it's. Thanks, FCA.
Yeah, I know. But Sean, like you said, I mean, Chrysler did this, and it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time till other manufacturers start picking up on it, because if Chrysler can get away with it, there's dollar signs there. So other manufacturers are going to be like, cha-ching, let's do this.
Well, I mean, I know we were joking around about Ford, but Ford in itself has already changed that. On the newer ones, you have to have an LSID to be able to do parameter resets, and that alone is a pain in the butt just to try and get through all that. So
it adds quite a bit to the job when you've got to get all the actual customer information. I mean, especially as a mobile technician, because you're dealing with, you're not face to face with the customer in the first place, and so now you've got to figure out how to get all of their information so you can do your D1 form. And it's it adds not just the actual dollar cost, but it adds so much more time to what you're doing. Maybe if you really get this down, maybe I haven't done enough to really get the process down, but it's always like getting a hold of the customer, and then the shop, they have to explain to them, why we need you to bring your driver's license and insurance and all this stuff in here for like you said, a parameter reset. We're not always making keys or getting security codes. It's just really, really simple stuff. Like, I put a PCM in there, and now I have to get this information.
Yeah. And see, I ran into that. I didn't even know that was a thing, and then I got called out to do a BCM, and I think it was like an F250, it's a 17 model. And I was like, what? FJDS pops up and says, do you have an LSID? I was like, you got to be kidding me right now. So, yeah.
But also, if you look in the service information, it does not mention any of that either. So
really,
it's been about a year since, because I had a 2017 Ford, just like Brandon was saying, and that's where I got hung up on it. And I ended up having to call Matthew Skunkrich or whatever, and he told me, he's like, yeah, you're pretty much SOL. You need an LSID and everything. And that was when I was at my previous shop and talked to them as far as like, hey, look, we need to look at getting an LSID. And they're like, nope, we're not doing that. And all I'm seeing is, this is going to be a thing for every manufacturer. I mean, Volkswagens and Audis and stuff, you can't even do a rack and pinion without an LSID because there's security functions in there. I mean, it's just getting crazy.
Yeah, because what is it, Otis? You can't get Otis without an LSID, I believe it is.
I think you're right.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the way on a lot of modules now. They're tied into the security somehow, so you got to have all this stuff. And man, it is a pain, which I'm sure to get the LSID stuff all set up, all of the stuff that NASDAQ wants. I'll tell you, I don't know, maybe I'm just complaining here, but they give you very little instructions on what they want for like insurance, and I tried like 4 times and they rejected it every time. I'm like, just tell me what you want. I was like, I'm not trying to skirt this deal at all.
Yeah.
I will give you what form you want, but they were like really, really indescript, and they kept turning it down. And finally, I don't know. I was calling my insurance agent like every week, like, yep, they rejected it again. Can you change this? He's like, what is it with these guys? What's wrong with them? It's like, come on.
Now, did you end up getting yours?
Yeah, I have it now. But you have to maintain that stuff too. You got to make sure that all the stuff's current. You keep the documents updated and all that stuff. But I mean,
well, and the reason I ask is, so that was my old shop when I was doing that BCM in the Ford or whatever, and pretty much how they said that they weren't on board and they are not ever going to get an LSID, which that just pretty much tells me like you're not willing to change with the times, because this is where this is going. If we're wanting to do modular replacements and programming and stuff. So that being said, I went to, I'm now at my current location or whatever, and they have applied and put in all the forms and everything for the LSID, but it's been like 5 months and we still haven't heard anything. So it's like, what's going on? And we haven't even heard a yes, no, nothing. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I won't name a name just because I won't, but I know one individual, he ended up having to corner somebody with NASTIF at a trade show just to get them to push his stuff through, because it took them, I think he said it was like 14 months while he was waiting for it. Yeah, and it just kept on and on and on. And they finally had to corner somebody in person, like, hey, pass my stuff through, man.
Okay, so when's this next trade event happening, and who's the NASTIF guy that we have to corner?
Well, I do know that on if you're on diag.net, I think it's Donnie Cypher. I think he's on there, and if you post something about it, he actually gets back to people on there. But
that's good to know.
That maybe that could move your stuff along. I don't know.
I'll have to go on there and check that out. That's I didn't even think about that. So that's a good call there, Sean.
He responded to something about, I think I actually posted something about my insurance thing because I was so frustrated with it, and he did end up commenting on it pretty quickly. So maybe that's a route for somebody who's looking to move this through. But yeah, right. I like the idea of a company out there that supports us in a way, because that's the idea of NASTIF, I think, but I don't know that it always necessarily works out that way for us.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There is flaws in any system, but at least we're not like some countries where they don't have a right to repair at all. And NASTIF is, they try and usually push for the right to repair. So.
Yeah, which is huge. Carm had a podcast just recently where they were talking about it's up in the election for the right to repair in Massachusetts right now, or this election coming up. And that's crazy stuff when you get into the details of it and how the manufacturer owns the data coming out of these cars. And
which once again, I won't name names, but a shop owner was showing me that as how you're saying how they own the data, that goes all the way back to what's the VIN running software that everybody uses for
Carfax?
Carfax. Anytime you run the VIN with Carfax, it sends all that data back to the manufacturer, so the manufacturer will constantly watch what's going on with the vehicles.
It also sends that information to your insurance company. So if you lie to your insurance companies about the mileage that you drive a year, because I had a customer just completely like yell at me because how dare us be big brother and pretty much, report. We didn't even report her. We just sent in the information or whatever. And she just came unglued. I'm like, well, don't lie to your insurance company. I don't know what to tell you.
Boy. Well, I don't want to keep you guys too much later. You got anything else before we wrap this one up?
No, I'm good.
Hey, I just want to say, hey, first of all, thanks for having us on, Sean.
Oh, yeah, dude, thank you.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thanks for spreading the word and everything. And, I'm just like I said, before, I'm excited about seeing where this can go, and hopefully we can just try to make a difference. I mean, that's just the biggest thing. So, and you with the podcast and everything else, and putting it into this format and making it a whole lot more professional. We did is awesome. So we really appreciate that from Brandon and I. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. It's a great cause. So I definitely encourage anybody listening to check that stuff out, and you'll be able to find all of the links in the show notes. Okay, one more big thank you to both Cody and Brandon for taking the time to come on the podcast with me, especially kind of short notice. I definitely appreciated that, and I really enjoyed talking to both of them. We'll have to get multiple guests on here again. It was kind of fun having three different people's perspectives on just any subject, I guess. But anyways, once again, a really good cause. That's why I wanted to get them on here, because I saw what they had going on Facebook, and definitely wanted to share this with as many people as possible, because it's going to such a good cause. So once again, make sure to check out the show notes, check out the links, buy yourself a pulse sensor, WPS case, some custom leads, anything that's pink, and you'll be entered into the drawing for one of those awesome tools they mentioned, but also just contributing towards a really good cause. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Let's get out there, start fixing the world one car at a time.